Hi, this is David Davis from Actual Tech Media. I'm here at the Emerging Technology Summit in Minneapolis, Minnesota. I'm excited to be joined by Mr. Jared Rassier. How you doing, Jared?
All right.
So you're the Director of Technology at NetGain Hosting, and you were telling me a little bit about your just massive data center and infrastructure footprint. Why don't you tell our audience about what does the NetGain Hosting data center look like?
Yeah, NetGain is a application agnostic medical hosting provider. Our focus is on the clinical and ambulatory space and users, providers. And so what we do as a business is pull a customer's application, everything from their shipping applications to their EMR titles into one of my data centers and serve it back out to them via terminal services, Citrix, VDI, those sort of technologies. So to do that, we deliver our services out of three primary data centers, one in St. Cloud, Minnesota, one in Chicago, Illinois, and one in Phoenix, Arizona. Today, though, that footprint keeps growing on us. Phoenix is less than a year old in this particular case. So those data centers are all very similar. They're a VMware, shared storage environment. On top of there, we run thousands of operating system instances. Generally, we're a Windows hosting shop, so when we talk, those are individual customer Windows instances in those data centers. So today, like I said, VMware serving primarily off of SolidFire today. In the last year, we've converted 2 of the 3 data centers to all flash on top of SolidFire, and the third one is mid-transition. We have our first rounds in as of 2-3 months ago, and we got another 6 or 8 months worth of migration until we're on top of that platform in its entirety.
Very nice. So I know, like you said, roughly a year ago, you implemented SolidFire through Deltaware Data. And kind of tell me, what was the challenge that you were having that caused you to look for a new storage solution?
Yeah, NetGain's been growing at about 30% per year from a storage standpoint. So we have a lot of growth, and we don't have a lot of control of the application. So we were a very traditional spinning disk storage vendor. About 2 years ago, we started to look at all flash as a real solution, and like most people, in a couple of point cases, and we brought some vendors in. But as we went to the price point of flash, kind of crossed over that of disk, at least for our I/O profile. It became at least cost competitive, if not slightly in our favor, to go to all flash. At that point, we needed something that could scale with us. As a hosting provider, we have revenues in the door that come from sales, and so we need the technology to kind of grow to follow that load and capacity as close as we can reasonably operationally, because the revenues don't come in the door. It's all great to buy a giant sand head and then let it sit empty for 6 months as you let it fill. It's a lot better to start with a reasonable sized cluster and then continue to append to that cluster. We also have, since we do deliver out of multiple regions, we have some cases where customers will move or want to transition data center, or some cases move reporting or DR services between data centers. That means I potentially have large swings of capacities between data centers, and the cluster style technology kind of allowed me to tackle that capacity management. As far as all flash go, the consistency of performance, and most vendors can perform to that nowadays. We found a lot of value in being on top of all flash. The tens of thousands of seats of desktops we deliver all have to be snappy all the time. Their applications, despite the aggressive update structure, have to be snappy all the time, because there's a doctor sitting there waiting to do surgery on the other side. It's just got to be up, and it's got to be fast, because they're in front of someone.
Very nice. So the scalability, the scale-out storage that SolidFire provided gave you a lot of benefits in terms of flexibility, being able to buy just the storage you needed at the right time, and then move that storage around if you have that use case. And then the predictability of I/O with all flash.
Yeah.
Very high performance I/O. You guys have tens of thousands of customers hammering away at that storage every day.
Yep, I have a lot of customers doing that. The other major features that we talked about a bit was QoS. Again, thousands of instances. We need a way to mitigate in case of a major change in I/O profile. Sometimes they'll do an app update, or they're working on their dev platform. We need to make sure all our customers are treated fairly from a performance standpoint. So we use it primarily to just make sure customers continue to perform and reduce impact.
Very nice, very nice. Well, thanks for sharing your experience with SolidFire and with Deltaware Data. Appreciate your time today, Jared. Thank you.
Absolutely, thank you.